Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the TCS eSports League. We're into our final match between Team Sir and Servette Geneva. This is going to be the big matchup of the day. My name is Switchblade Jay. Joining me is Digital Bacon for our final match of the day. Okay, in case you weren't aware, obviously, Wave Masters had to forfeit their match, so it's only going to be 3 matches today. North saying get away with a free win. I mean, they didn't need it, but they get away with a free win anyway here, Bacon. So this is going to be our big match of the day. Sir versus Servette Geneva. Number 2 seed versus number 3 seed at the moment in the table. And, you know, these boys, again, we've seen Sir already take up set victories away from Servette like back in week 2. Like, you know, this is going to be a hell of a match, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be basically the showcase one of the night. That's why we're here on Champions Field as well. And like I said, a little bit of a preview maybe for LAN coming up, because if both these two teams finish on their current standings, this will be their first match at LAN, which is a super exciting one to see. And it's quite an interesting one. Like you said, Sir did take down Servette Geneva before, and you can't take that away from them at all. But Servette Geneva are the only team who have been able to take down Lausanne now, which is a super nuts sort of like accolade to have to your name. This is going to be, for me, like a little bit of a preview maybe, because they've got to be coming into this thinking, okay, if we can beat our opponent, if we can beat each other here, this is going to be good for LAN because we have faced them in 4 weeks' time. But at the same time, maybe they're trying to withhold something. It's going to be all about mind games, I think, most importantly in this one.
Yeah, and you don't want to give away too much here in the online stage. But again, it's probably going to be a first-round match preview, essentially, for the LAN finals. So you've got to be wary about not giving away too much. If you're going to have a specific kickoff strategy or a specific passing play that you want to use that's massively OP, then you don't want to reveal that right here. Else it's going to be, that's going to be pretty tragic for the LAN finals. So yeah, Sir obviously took a 3-0 against Servette Geneva back in week 2, and obviously that was when we had the 7 sweep city, or the 7 round, or the 7 match sweeps going on at that time. I'm not sure what you make of that back then versus now. How does Sir compare against Servette Geneva? Can they pull the upset off again, let alone turn it into a full sweep?
So, Sir had a very explosive start to the season. You cannot downcredit that at all. They didn't go, I think it was into second sort of place until it was something ridiculous like week 6 when Lausanne took him down. Throughout the first 5 weeks, they were the top dogs, which no one was expecting. It's just because they were just that nuts. Servette Geneva, it was the very start, and you can't really count anything on that. You can't count anything about their past result there, because it was all the way back in August, Jay. It was ages ago.
Yeah, it was a very, very long time ago indeed. So lots have changed since then. Are you backing Sir for it, though? Do you think Servette are going to be able to take this one in confident fashion or close fashion?
I think it's going to be Servette here. They've just been on, like, when they're playing their full roster, which Bacon quickly checks there. Yep, Sack's there, Safair's there, and Flav's there. Great. It's their full roster. I don't think they can lose here. But as we know, you can never count out Sir. I'm predicting Servette Geneva, but it's a flip of the coin, essentially, for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very close one. I'm going with Servette Geneva again. But yeah, this will end up being one of the closest matches we have on the cards for the day. So let's get into it here, ladies and gentlemen, at least when the teams are ready to join. I did give them the all go ahead. Come on, boys. There we are. So that will be in the orange side, Sir over on the blue side of the pitch. Let's do it here for game 1 on Champions Field. The kickoff goes, well, early off to the favor of Sir, but Safair just going to try and time that back, try and make it an advantage for the Servette Geneva side. In the midfield, it's RNZ. Take control back away. Sack with an aerial dribble, taking it towards that midfield. Fed away by Safair as well. Takes control of it, and the ball will go out over to the corner now. Mirrorwing, falling out. Sack into the corner position. Flav actually demos out after Jesus. Might be able to take one of the backline defenders out of position and takes for a victory, but not to be in the goal score here. Instead, it's over to Sir's side as RNZ scores the opener of the match.
A really, really pacey start for this game. Sir just etching out the win at all, and it was a super awkward bounce for Sack, who thought it was just going to come down and he wanted to put it off to the corner. Read it wrong, but RNZ read it right. That's going to hurt Servette Geneva, but they're strong enough to come back and maybe even get a quick response goal.
Fair takes the ball in. Flav fed away. Good touch from RNZ. Will put it back away. So Fair now passing over to Flav in the midfield. Should be able to get to this in time. Challenged by one more player. Puts it a little bit off centre. It's going to go off centre anyway, but it a bit more momentum and allows a bit more control for Servette in this blue half of the pitch. RNZ dunks it down. Going to give it to a teammate, but again, Servette control the ball here in the first minute. It's only a goal scored by the Sur side. Oh, great redirects from Sak, go off the post and not going in the back of the net. Close, but no cigar for the Servette side. We're able to keep this pressure rolling, however. Sak once again back off the backboard, and now just going to leave it for his teammate. And Mirrorwing takes it away. Zafair chips it up, going off the backboard one more time, knocking it down for the crease, but no shot opportunities taken by Servette.
No, they're just not fancying their chances yet, and it's because teams align themselves up very, very well, and they're putting it off to the corner, super close to these walls, which make it hard to get shots on Jay, and then they can just break out like that. This was so well controlled in defense from Sir.
Yeah, Raps Jesus, Mirrorwing and RNZ all combined to bait in everybody into that side, into the midfield and up to the aggressive forces. It's 2-0 for the Sir side. Making this work just as well as they did last time around, Bacon. I mean, it's number a month, sure, but only certain things change. As once again, Sir get the offensive pressure in off the kickoff, ball into the centre where RNZ will try and take that third goal. Unfortunately, Servette Geneva are going to hold it down. Here on the defense in the midfield, Fair will turn it back around into that corner. He'll follow through with ball back away. Sak chipping it up, going into the corner. Secondary touch will go back into the centre field, and Flav's going to get a good shot on target. Jesus takes it away, and Mirrorwing follows through with the ball breakaway clear. Fortunately, Fair with a demo keeps it from going all the way in the back of the net. That could have been very, very deadly, however, for the Sir side.
Yeah, and Sir at the moment are just using all-out sort of hammering to try and get their...
Ooh!
Sorry, I meant Servette using all-out hammering, all those demos, and just absolutely forcing the problem, absolutely forcing the errors, because you cannot get back from a respawn that quick to make the save.
Yeah, 2-1 now on this board for the Sir side. Servette to maintain that control now. They can keep this one rolling back here, but again, it's a great play from Sir to keep the aggressive pressure rolling. Mirrorwing into the centre. Affair with a save. Secondary touch follow through from Sak as they get close to the net. Get close to the box. Sak, who's got all the ball control, but no boost, unfortunately. Could have carried that all the way downfield, but couldn't quite do it. Now RNZ's going to go in for the aerial dribble and try and put one stellar shot back in the back of the net for Sir. Won't be able to follow it all the way through. Still got Servette back in this midfield. Touch from Flav is missed. Mirrorwing takes it into the corner as a result. The ball will go high. Sak the follow through and puts it over to the right-hand side. Follows it through with a shot zero angle of its own, but RNZ are able to chip it away, able to save it right now for the Sir side. Mirrorwing once again challenged in the midfield. Secondary touch from Sak to try and pass over to Flav. This is going to be glorious, but it's too wide, and Servette cannot get the equaliser they want to score.
But Servette are putting very, very good pressure on that back line, making it hard to defend against. Mirrorwing pulling out the fate there. You can definitely see both these two teams thinking out how they can beat each other. This is a preview for LAN with the little strategies coming out. Great demo from Mirrorwing led to this here.
Yeah, RNZ, easy shot, no more was required. Literally, that was it. 3-1 on the board, Sir now, 1 minute and 30 on the clock. Servette looking a little bit worse for wear out here. They are going to be able to get a shot in from Sak's line, but RNZ takes control once again towards the stage right of the net. Plus through a 12 boost on towards that midfield. Affair, all the boost in the world, but that's still not going to stop them from getting a set up in towards the centre. Sak takes the balls. Affair going to try and follow it through. Mirrorwing challenges towards that midfield, and now he's wrapped to Jesus. Take it off the backboard. Second touch to come through from his teammate of Mirrorwing, and it's going past the entire defensive line. Sir, they're playing their own game, and Servette just can't seem to keep up.
Yeah, poor lapse in defense here. Flav expected Sak to be able to get it. Sak, of course, just a little bit off, predicting it wrong, and that left the goal open. They were going to follow up on that every single day, so you do. RNZ, brilliant plays from him today. Mirrorwing has been a great support as well, and Raptor Jesus. He's gone a little bit quiet, I'm going to say, Jay, but he hasn't had to do any more.
No more at that. 60 seconds, 45 now ticking by. It's a 4-1 scoreline for the Servette side. They've got a lot of work for Servette Geneva to do if they want to try and turn this around with even more shots going to their favour on the blue half of the pitch. Servette trying to take the ball out of the box and will be successful in clearing it downfield. Now Flab following it through, 30 seconds remain. Goes back in for a pass into the centre where Sack will be waiting, but not for very much longer. Maintain their controls. Affair back into the corner, followed up as Raptor takes it away. Sack passes over to the midfield, trying to get Servette to try and get something out together. Good passes out between the two players, and Zaffair will put a shot on target that will go in, but 4-2, still 9 seconds on the clock. Servette need a kickoff goal to have a chance at even equalising this.
And that's a chance to get another kickoff goal. Jay, I'm going to be quite frank, this is gone for Servette Geneva, but that goal there should be able to carry over some momentum going into game number 2, where they are starting to figure out how to handle the game that Sir are playing here, which is a very odd style of mixing up the amount of pressure, the amount of speed, letting your opponents play into your defense. Sir have been playing 3 different play styles in this game, and that is not something you see in Rocket League.
It makes him so unique and so difficult to read as a result. That's why Servette Geneva have had such a hard time in the past against them, you know. And Sir themselves, they've had some very, very good results against other teams over the course of the season. You know, unfortunately, they weren't able. The one thing I would have liked to see out of it is for them to take on Lausanne. Unfortunately, they were their first. They actually forfeit that match, so we actually never got to see that one. But you know, I think that against Lausanne, they could be able to do some really, really good work. And right now against Servette are struggling against these boys. It's looking more and more like dire straits here for them. Of course, it's only game 1, but serious adjustments need to come through. They need to try and find a way to match this pacing. They're trying to adjust alongside Sir, who have had all the control so far in game 1. Let's see if they can control it into game 2. It's out to the Servette corner to kick things off. Over the other side, where Zaffair will try and take it, but again, a quick feed from Raptor Jesus will set things up, center things up for the Sir squad now. Mirrorwing goes out to the centre field. RNZ, good challenge again to keep that inside that corner. Mirrorwing missing entirely. Might still go for the 0 angle, but he couldn't quite find that angle. So Flav will save it. Gives Servette a chance to clear it all the way back towards the blue half of the field. Servette trying to set up a counter attack, but Sir have the control, and they're going to be able to clear right back, if I'm right in thinking.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking back to what you said about them going up against Lausanne. Of course, they did actually face up against them in one series that wasn't a forfeit, but I swear they were playing with a sub. So technically, the full Sir roster has not played the full Lausanne roster. And that, who knows, maybe that forfeit was some sort of weird strategy, because Sir are absolutely stunning in this game.
Fantastic passing play from Mirrorwing to RNZ. And again, you could, in football, you call that a sweaty goal. But Servette did not see that coming whatsoever. They couldn't counteract for it in the slightest. It's strategy. No, I'm not even going to deny it. I think it's strategy as well. I think that's a perfectly legit way of turning things around. Sir will score the opener past that minute marker for it. Servette try to take that ball control back over to the blue half. It's Zaffair in particular, over to the corner. RNZ. I'll challenge for control. Sack back into the midfield, and RNZ follows the ball all the way through towards the orange box. Just challenged by Flab. That could have gotten very dangerous if he dribbled that in the back of the net. A 2-0, and that would have tilted Servette more than anything else. They can't afford to lose any more ground. They need to start getting some good work played up here.
They do indeed. They've got to start. This is super precarious. They're across the net going wide. Not the type of pass you're going to make there, because you can definitely see Servette Geneva aren't wanting to jump in front of the net. They want the ball to bounce out to them. They do not want to go into that back quarter of their opponents. They're not risking that much, and it's all down to Sir putting on such a good game that Servette Geneva are probably overly cautious of their opponents here. They respect them too much and don't want to risk anything.
Passing plays a little bit late to the line of the mid-centre player. Now Sir going to get aggressed upon. Close shot from Sack. Almost put it on a snipe position, but Mirrorwing able to take it away and now clear it back over to the Servette side. Try to keep this pressure rolling for Sir. RNZ, ball out off the backboard. Try and pitch it back in. As Raptor is a little bit too far forward for this one. Demo's come through. Sack cannot get it past Mirrorwing, though. He's been a defensive rock right now for the Sir side. And they'll be able to keep that lead as a result. 2 minutes and 30 on the clock. We're halfway through game 2. So only leading by 1. It might be enough here. The redirects from Mirroring are still going to put a second buffer on the board. RNZ steals it at the line, but it's going to be a second goal for Sir. They won't be complaining too much about that.
Yeah, RNZ here was just forcing this, making sure that his opponent couldn't get there, closing out the angles. And this is one thing that I absolutely love against Team Sir. They're not going to leave the chance of that being saved. It's not greed, it is just them understanding to each other that a win is a win, and they have to win this one.
Ball into the centre, again Mirroring with a perfect chance. Raptor is going to get forced back away. RNZ challenges into the corner and keeps it inside that corner. Has a chance to pick up the 100 boost. Servette didn't steal it. Sack will pass over to the midfield player of the Servette side. Mirroring tries to intercept, as does RNZ on the defence. Servette missing his chances. RNZ away, Sack controls. Mirroring goes off the backboard. RNZ, it's an open net for him. 3-0 now. He's got 3 of the goals, a hat-trick for the man. And Servette struggling to get started in this one.
Yeah, just little slow defensive plays where they're not hitting the ball the way they want to. No one really covering that net, and I would say maybe try and work on a 1 defender, 2 attacker role. See how that goes right now. They're trying a little fake there, which is interesting. But when you're 3 goals down, Jay, with 1 minute and a half remaining, you've got to focus more on your attack than your defense, because defense is not going to get you goals.
1 minute and 30 to score 3. It's not the worst amount of pressure for Servette, but they're going to start making it work now, sooner rather than later. A chance off the backboard, a chance off the crossbar. Fair and Flag, great shots in. Sack will follow through. And finally, Servette will open things up on their board here in game 2.
Yeah, and just quickly looking back over the cameras, Servette put a great hit in there, went all the way back. He was actually making it all the way back to net so that a big clearance wasn't able to come out. Flav, of course, setting that up and then Sack to put it away. Clean, clever play. We need more of that, Servette.
Let's try to wrap it up together right now. This second game hangs in the balance of the next minute or so. Raptor. It's RNZ now. It's control the ball inside the orange half. Alpha Mirroring is right at the aerial damage. Matchday is missing entirely. Actually, that's a pretty open net for Flav. They will be able to get back in time. Still going to chip it. Try for the shot, and he out fakes the main defender. Servette suddenly spring into life, spring into action. Bring the scoreline within 1.
Yeah, good 40 seconds for them, being able to turn everything around and put themselves into a position where they can tie this up. 55 seconds now. Are Team Surge just going to go on full attack, pressure it, or are they going to just focus on that defense? They've got 2 options here. And Servette just asking there in chat for a little break, so we will grant that afterwards. But that could lead to even further complications for Sir here. But that faithful little strategies coming out where they're forcing little pinches, little 50-50s like that.
Servette trying to set his teammates up. It's Mirroring back away. Sack over to the midfield. 30 seconds remain as Servette have the ball control. They have the pressure in the second half. Jesus controls it in the crease. Good shot on target. Flav will take it off the backboard. It's all on Sack in the centre, but he can't get the shot he needs. RNZ will be able to save it and get the clear back away as a fair bumped out position as RNZ controls the ball for Sir. Back into the orange half. The pressure remounts itself. The Servette try and cling on to game 2, try and cling on against the match point of the Sir side. But RNZ clears it out to open space. Sack will get a shot on target. Mirroring with a save. And again, it looks like it's going out into open space. Raptor Jesus, good touch. Servette can't keep control of it. And there it is, Sir with a 2-0 series here, Bacon.
Yeah, and it all came down to this last part of Sir making sure they have that 1 player just focused on defense, 2 players just wanting to clear it down to their opponent's end of the field. That is how you close out a game safely. Sir are playing super smart in this. Like I said, we're just going to quickly have a little bit of break. You're going to have to deal with me and Jay waffling on a little bit, analysing this match before we get into game number 3. But Jay, looking at this pace, it's all on Sir's side. The changing of momentum has been massive for them, where they're able to slow it down when the attack's onto them, but then how quickly they ramp it up and put on such a blistering fast pace when they're on the attack.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. Again, we were talking about it earlier. That separates Sir from the other teams in this league, of the fact that they can just dictate the pace and play their own game quite frequently. Like, you know, we saw it so many times throughout the course of that game right there. Like, Servette barely stood a chance until the very end of the game. It was a 3-0 on 1 point for Sir. Only towards the end of it, the Servette started to get those the first and second goals on their own board. So you know, for Sir, it's a major ace up their hole that so many teams can struggle to counteract for, can struggle to gain any sort of major advantage. And again, you know, it's such a key defining factor of how Sir play their Rocket League, you know.
Yeah, and it's also a key shown of how inconsistent Sir can be on the day. You got to think, last week they lost in game number 5 to Monks. This week, coming up against the second place team in the league, and they look like they're dominating it. It's so weird how Sir can change depending on the day. Coming around to LAN, this match here, Jay, gives me more thoughts. Like when we did the little interviews, little questions back in, what was that, week 8, I think it was. And I think I was the only one then who said Sir could take it. They're the wild card for it. And I'm still holding on to that because if it's Sir's day, if they are playing on form at LAN, I think they could take it all. They are a team that can upset.
And you know what? Like, credit to you. You called something that none of us were able to call, you know, like, well, credit to you, man. Like, these guys have proven some serious amount of talent are available for the Sir side. Like, there's just, yeah, these guys could very easily take it. I'm not going to lie. Like, especially if they performance like this. Again, I would like to see how the pace was set against Lausanne. I would like to see that second match between them and Lausanne over on week 9. You know, because that would have been fantastic again to see how well they're able to match up against that roster. Yeah, sure, they did have a match against them on week 6, which didn't go too well for them. But again, rectifying mistakes, changing that pace, finding that line of form. Yeah, I really would like to see how Sir do against Lausanne in the LAN environment.
I will say here as well, this roster requires all 3 main members. We've seen it before. When a sub steps in for them, it does not work. They are a team that I'm going to frankly say is the worst in the league if they're playing with a sub. It requires all 3 players to get the win. And well, if they can get the 3-0 here, Jay, that's going to be even sweeter.
Sir with a major opportunity to take a victory against the second best team in the league right now. All they need is this next game, and they will be able to put a serious upset on the board of the Servette side. Will not be able to quite take second place and second seed, but still, a nice way, the opportunity to open things up. Ooh, the touch on Servette. It's just going to go so awkward.
It is indeed.
Oh,
that hurts.
Flav, my friend.
I think we need to go on about that. We can't be crying here all day because that is painful.
It's pretty painful, especially if you're Flav. You know, it's just like, well, that's a problem. Very bad problem, regardless. However, it's an opening for Sir, credited on the part of Mirrorwing. Raptors controls that ball back into the midfield. It's Sack taking it away. RNZ over to the corner. Challenged again by Mirrorwing once again. It's Flav with the ball out inside the center field. RNZ pushes it away and tries to get it back down towards that midfield. Serve taking the major control in the first minute. Now look to control it one more time with a fantastic shot on target. RNZ can't quite get to the mark on time. It's Sack that takes it for the clear, and they're back by the Sir team inside that midfield. Mirrorwing away. RNZ going to rotate back into the defense because the fair is here. Ball out towards the corner. Sack has control, dribbles it. Oh, the 50-50 challenge is absolutely beautiful to get Servette on the board.
Look at that. Sack puts it on top of his car like he's putting his dinner on a plate, and there he gobbles it up. The opportunity to get an equalizer, so well done with that solo play by Sack. Massive nails. That's the turning point. Good kickoff as well. Servette Geneva, they're just making sure to prioritize control of the ball.
Yeah, control the ball, you control the pace, and so obviously that's their main strength. If you take that out, you're basically like taking a giant out from the knees. Can't stand up, can't do anything as the fair goes for the flip reset shot on target of the blue net. Sir, they're able to return it back, hold the defensive down as they control out here. Mirrorwing away from RNZ. Good challenge by Flav. Going to put that off center. That could have been a shot on target, however. Back to Jesus. Ball out again into the midfield, passes into the box. RNZ a little bit late to the mark, so can't quite get the shot that they need. Mirroring will still try and follow it through. Second touch with the backboard, that's going in. No one can clear it from Servette. 2-1 for Sir.
And here, the clearance there coming out, I don't know which of the Servette side did it. Put it off to the wall. Dangerous, is too far away from you. Mirrorwing being able to quickly snatch that away. And then, of course, the turnaround, they weren't expecting it. Mirrorwing just getting free roam, but so well controlled in the air.
RNZ close to the marker again. Sack just have to get off the backboard and make sure he saves that. Otherwise, that would have been a dangerous second goal, or third goal actually for the Sir side. Jesus will get it over towards the right-hand side. Just keep that pressure rolling here at the halfway marker. Servette finally chips it. No one's in the back of the net. Flav's going to go for the shot. Oh, he gets it off that backboard, and that sets up RNZ perfectly to carry the clear back over to the midfield. Sack now in control. Ball up to the centre. Flav going to try to see if he can dunk it down against Raptor Jesus. He'll feed it away. It's a fair, good shot on target. All three players inside that net. It's getting dangerous for Sir, but they're able to hold on and get the ball out further enough so they can start to extend a little bit further out of that position. Mirroring, in fact, gets a shot into fair, completely blocks it. No centred up player that can follow up the shot from the Sir side. They will still control that midfield, RNZ in particular. Challenge against Servette, Mirroring out towards that corner. Servette actually passes over to Raptor Jesus, a chance taken, but also challenged by Servette players.
Yeah, and Sack now is just going on a spree. He's looking for demos, he's looking for boosts. He's wanting to take everything away from his opponents. Like we said earlier, control of the ball is very good, because that takes out a big chunk of what Sir is all about, but taking away that boost, maybe getting a couple of demos on the players, that will completely dismantle Sir. Servette are looking for an opportunity to get a goal. They're trying to manufacture it. Hasn't worked yet, but hopefully down the line it will happen for them.
Against one, opens up the line a little bit. This is awkward. This is a chance for Flab, but Mirroring takes it away, and Zafir's a little bit too far forward to keep that ball inside the box. Sack now follows it through. Mirroring picks up the 100 boost and now can carry it all the way towards the other half of the pitch. Tries to drop it down for Raptor Jesus, and Zafir a fantastic chance to keep it away. Flab also challenged by Mirroring, however, so Servette not getting all the control. They will get the passing plays, and Flab a little bit out of position, double flips it, and now RNZ can clear it once again. The line's not perfect from Servette, and that's what's really costing them. The perfection line could turn this whole game around, potentially this whole series around for Servette. But as it stands, it's going to be boomed back by Sir as they try and get a third goal in. RNZ shot on target, defended by Flab, as now Servette try and take it right back down the other end of the field. Mirrorwing controls it into the orange corner, into the orange half it will go. He keeps it rolling right around here. Ball inside, Sack chipped away. Flab try and keep it going. Over on the blue half of the pitch, Raptor Jesus also off against the walls. Affair dropping it down. Flav, good shot on target. RNZ just pinches it away from the upper 90 and the crossbar. Now Sack over to Surveyor, good shot on target, defended by Mirroring once again. And RNZ keeps it over to the left-hand side. 10 seconds remaining. Last chance saloon for Servette Geneva. They've got to try and get this ball inside as Sack takes it. Ball in for Raptor Jesus to take control. Flav out towards the midfield. And RNZ clears it to Raptor Jesus' angle, bounces off the crease. And Servette needs to take control of this one right here, right now. If they want a chance, one flip is all it will take from RNZ to put the clean sweep on the board for Team Sir.
This just feels ridiculous. Team Sir doing it how they did it back in
That's
week
the second
number
3-0. Second 3-0 in Servette Geneva. That's insane.
Both close as well. Back in week 2, it was 3-0, of course, with 2 overtimes. We didn't get to see any overtimes in this matchup, of course, but absolutely nuts how close these two teams are. And Sir, it is just that difference in playstyles of how they swap it up depending on where they are in the pitch. It's really, really weird to play against, and Servette Geneva don't seem to have it in their bag of tricks to be able to stop it. They were looking good there. That last game, very, very good for that last half, but they've got 4 weeks now to figure it out. And Sir, for me, is the team they have to beat at LAN. That is their threat. They've already shown they can beat Lausanne, they can beat Arctic, but Sir is the team that could wreck them at LAN if they're not careful.
Yeah, they are the dark horse, I think. I mean, you know, I certainly was all about Servette and Lausanne, but Sir now look like they might have a bit more of a chance.
They're looking over the shoulders. They're there like, you're forgetting about me.
Yeah, so just like tapping, they're just like, Hello there. How are you doing? It's fantastic to meet you. My name is the Swiss Incredible Rebels, and that title is mine. Essentially, they're coming back with a serious vengeance as they take another series against Servette, trying to deny their chances of that first seed and make sure that Sir would face them as well in that in that semi-final match. So another 3-0 against Servette. This is looking incredibly good. Sir on a hot streak at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, they've got one more week to sort of like maybe. Well, next week they go up against Silent Gaming. For me, that's their week to test out maybe a fourth strategy. We've already seen they've got 3 different play styles in their book, which they can swap around. Maybe a fourth one, which they'll test against Silent next week and then hold that off. Don't use it up against one of the big teams. Use it against Silent, where you've got a little bit more leeway and you can just try it out. The other two, though, Lausanne have Arctic next week, and that's going to be a big game for those two. That then leaves Silent Gaming, Servette Geneva to go up against Withmasters, Elvets against Monks. Next week is a lot of interesting games, I will say.
Seems like it would be, and begin it as we started it, or end it as we begun it. In this case, week 14, the round 1 matches. Coming up next week, the final round of the league play season. And again, some very interesting matches to have for them right there. Again, just trying to swap those seedings about, trying to get themselves into a decent position going into the postseason LAN and relegation matches. But that's all to come next week. For now, we are done here at the TCS eSports League. That's our matches over and done with. I think we can bring you a nice final standing as well for the current status of where teams currently stand. I think no real major move-ups or move-downs, except for Silent Gaming, who have gone from 7th to 5th. Other than that, Lausanne, Servette, Team Sir, Arctic round out that top 4. They're definitely going to land. They look like they're in the same sort of seeding scenarios. Silent in 5th, With in 6th, 7th is Monks, and 8th is the Elvets.
Yep, that is it for this week. So, guys, we're going to have to bid you a farewell until, of course, 7:30 p.m. CST next week. Same day, same time as always. But for the last time this year is going to be the last match day of league play. And then, of course, we'll have the promotion relegation tournament and LAN coming up in December. But from myself, Digital Bacon, joined once again, as always, it's always awesome. Switchblade J, we'll see you next week.